Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Speaking the Truth About Money with Martin Coward and Joy the Wise Woman. I am both Martin Coward, and I am also Joy the Wise Woman. Martin Coward is my human name, and Joy the Wise Woman is my spiritual name. As we all know, we are both fully human and fully spirit. So, welcome to our show today. I am so excited to have as our guest Dr. Gloria Pope. She goes by Dr. Glow, and she is going to share with us her wisdom of an experience, an understanding of the importance and the value of having a clear purpose in our lives. We want to live a real, meaningful, and happy and fulfilling life. It starts with a sense of one, who are we, the first one? And then if we know who we are, these wonderful, divine, part human, part spiritual creatures, human beings,
Mhm.
with a sense of divine purpose coming from our hearts, life becomes magical, fulfilling, and so exciting. At least that is for me, and I would imagine is for Dr. Glow as well.
That
So
it is.
Dr. Glow, thank you for coming on today. I'm going to ask you to start out by just sharing a little bit of your story about what you maybe why how you just came upon understanding the importance of living a life of purpose and how it's impacting your life and how it's impacting the lives of others. But start with your own story.
Hey, Martin, I want to thank you first of all for having me here today. I'm so excited with all your energy. It's just so enlightening to be in a common space with you again at this moment. So I go by Dr. Glow. My name is definitely Dr. Gloria Pope because I also, Dr. Glow is a different type of person. I want to give off that energy today, my
Mhm.
bright and lightest self, as
Oh,
I share this because your passion and your purpose is just so important. And it's the way that we wake up every day, is the thing that inspires us to move on anything that we're out here to do, either business, personally, health wise. It's all about our purpose and our value to our community. So for me, really deciding that I wanted to focus more so on my purpose came from one director's meeting that I was coming from one afternoon. I am also executive director of an early childhood program, and I was on my way back from the meeting, and I was in a space where I was realizing I wasn't being allowed to be my best self. I wasn't being given access to really show what I was capable to do. I felt I was placed in a box. And at that day, in that moment, I decided I'm busting out of the box. And that's when Black Girl Everything was birthed. It was a very simple thing where I was like, I'm going to host an event where I'm going to promote Black women owned businesses. And I'm going to have these artists and I'm going to have these speakers. And we're going to do all this great stuff. And it was phenomenal. It was planned in like 24 hours. I had tickets going. And then unfortunately, COVID came and said no. Because it happened in March. My event was supposed to be in March. Governor said, no, 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 you can't do anything. And I had to shut down. Um, but I still had this. This was my purpose. I felt so alive in those
uh-huh.
few weeks that I started planning this event out that I was like, okay, now forget it. I'm just going to interview all these people. And then I started vlogging. And I found a new home for me where I started to interview and meet hundreds of people on a consistent basis who I just wanted to talk to and just was building out my network. And that's what I realized, that the magic that I have is to connect people to people to people to people. And that's what the Dr. Glow brand ultimately does in all of its aspects. Is really just about connecting others and seeing how the access that I have to other people can give other individuals access to them as well. So that's really how it started. And that's when I really started living in my purpose. And it's going so many different lengths. I'm still executive director of a new school where I am the executive director. So no one honestly tells me what to do. I run it with my own mission, my own story, and how I want to move and educate these young folks and these families. I will also work in the Bronx, where I work with the queer community at the Bronx LGBTQI Center. Love it there. I'm able to be me 1000% in
I
that
love
space.
that.
And then I have the Daisy Dream Project, which is my own nonprofit, which is all about rebuilding communities, especially children with differing abilities, which came from my dissertation as well. So the Dr. Glow brand is pretty large. I do a lot of great work, but it's all just about putting pieces of a puzzle together. So in between my school and Destination Tomorrow and Black Girl Everything and the Daisy Dream Project, all of them are part of a much bigger thing, my purpose, which is about connecting communities and people.
Absolutely, I love that, and I think that's exactly why we're here together today, because we share exactly the same mission in the world, and that is about the value, because we human beings are wired for human
Mhm.
connection, and we're creating a brand new virtual global LGBTQ heart-centered community. It's a coaching
Mhm.
program to do exactly what you're doing. It is to connect people around the world, most specifically, where I is to connect West. We're just going to call them Westerners. It includes Europe, but it's going to just call the Western world we all live
Mhm.
in, with the queer people living in Africa, most specifically the people I'm working with who are living in a refugee camp in Kenya. Because this is what I've discovered when I met these people about a year ago. Abba Henry is my partner now, talking about purpose. When I met them, I was kind of like, it was kind of like Book of Mormon. I thought, I'm this white guy. I'm going to go over there and introduce them to stuff, and I'm going to introduce
Yeah.
them to their zone of genius and to their heart and all that kind of stuff. Let me tell you something. They are light years ahead of Americans. I'm just going
Mhm.
to tell you, there are light years. Their heart is so open and so big. And what's really happened for them is, once I opened their heart, they were to be I helped them as their coach to discover their purpose. And they're like diamonds. Now that they're understanding how powerful they are and they've got a sense of purpose and meaning in the world, we're creating this new community out of that. And we've got a lot to learn from them. I think I have a lot to learn. I've learned a lot from them about the whole idea of who I am and a sense of purpose in the world. And so it's just what you're doing, and what we're all doing is we've all plugged in. I think since COVID, a lot of are waking up to that we're so much more powerful. We're so much bigger than we are. 80% of the problems in this world are based on a story we're telling ourselves about who we are as humans, as human beings. We're not telling ourselves the right story. And if we're not telling ourselves the right
Mhm.
story, we're probably not telling ourselves why we're here either.
Yeah, Martin, I agree with you 1000% on that. I came up with this quote. It came to me because the universe speaks to me constantly, and it told me the other day, about a week ago, was um, it came to me the other day, and one of the thing was that I have the power to instill power in others.
Uh-huh.
And that is one of the most powerful things that I can do, is to take all that I've learned over time and then put myself in the place where I can share that with other people and to be freeing with other people about anything and everything. Right. So
Mhm.
even with parents and engaging with parents about how to interact with your children and how to strengthen your family base, with when it comes down to the businesses that I coach and individuals that I coach, and helping them build things from an idea to into enterprises and then watching them grow. One of the biggest blessings I have now, even though this Black or Everything is only 2 years old at this point, I see for a fact, I see the growth of organizations that I've touched and that I've connected, and watching them engage and work with other individuals and how that looks has been an ultimate pleasure for me. And I just think that is just really about me living through the strength that I have, being the fact that I was raised with a large family. I have 14 siblings, right? So I've
Wow.
always been a coach. I've always been a coach. I've always been a coach when I had to work with all of my siblings and teaching them different things and working through their problems. And even still to this day, as adults, they call me all the time, like, "Oh, can I come sit on your porch? Yeah, what are we going to talk
Yeah.
about? What are we going to work through? What are we
Yeah.
gonna conversate
It's just
about?"
about connection. We
You know?
just want to get together. Let's
Yeah,
answer this
exactly.
person's question. I know what this person's talking, David Simon. I know what you're saying. I will tell you, I'll let you answer the question because it's bringing to you, but I will say there is a mistake in the show notes that my team made. We used the incorrect pronoun from what Dr. Glow gave us. She
Oh,
gave us
okay.
the she pronoun. So that's maybe what you're curious about. So why don't you just answer the question? So I don't want to answer it for you, but I believe that your pronouns are she, hers, and she. I believe is the correct
Oh,
pronoun.
yeah, yeah. No, actually, I do go by she, they. Um,
Okay.
so it's definitely she, they. That's definitely me.
Okay. Good. 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 Well, my apologies for getting. I saw that this morning and I tried to correct it, but I didn't get it corrected on all the
Oh,
platforms.
yeah. No, it's okay. As long as people, People use he depending on honestly how I come outside sometimes. And it's for me, as long as it's said with love, I'm just okay with it. I'm just a human being out here just being my best self. So I'm
Yeah,
comfortable.
well, that's great. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I just wanted to answer that person's question because it was confusing, and I apologize for getting your pronoun incorrect in the introduction. But she, they is what her pronouns are. Okay.
Yes, that is definitely my pronouns. Thank you so much. And actually, you should have put that next to Dr. Glow for
It's
clarity for other
all
individuals.
good. All is well and all is wonderful. So let's go back and let's talk about people. People who are right now who don't have us, who are struggling in life. They're not really sure of who they are.
Yeah.
They might be having some difficulties financially. They might be trying to figure out what their role is in the world. They may not even have a sense of, they may not have a purpose. How do you help people, and what would you suggest to someone who maybe is lost right now, trying to find themselves and trying to find their purpose?
Well, everybody has a purpose. And I think we get so caught up in the noise around us that we don't sit quiet with ourselves. We don't sit quiet with the universe. The universe is always talking to you. It doesn't matter what you believe in. It's always talking to you. It is guiding you through different ways, even when you're making certain choices that you later feel are mistakes. That was part of your path and part of your process, because I know for a fact that things and choices I've made in my past have come through now. It's like, okay, that's a blessing. That's a lesson, because now I can stop and I can help other people get through that path without making the same mistakes. So it's like, as much, even with my business and choices that I make moving forward, sometimes I mess up, and it's okay. But then I come back and now, I don't want you to do that, because this is something that I did and didn't work out. So why don't we try a different way? So for people who are looking to find their purpose, we all have one.
Yeah.
We all have one. We are all placed here on a mission, right? And that mission is definitely to make this world a better place. And if you're finding a hard time trying to find it, it's there. Conversations with individuals that you see are inspirational to you are a good thing to do. Reading is a really good thing to do. Look at the type of books that you're reading. Look at the type of things that are coming across your timeline, even via social media. Your purpose is always there. It's shining. And it could be the smallest thing. For me, I've always enjoyed working with children. I've always honestly enjoyed working with people. And I've coached baseball for many, many years. I coached softball for many, many years. I was actually the president of Mount Vernon Little League for 7 years. Right, where I serviced over 500 kids for 7 years, right? And then I took all those different experiences and realized, I'm really good at coaching people. Then I became a life coach, right? And because the universe, my intuition is crazy. All right.
Well, what you're saying is absolutely spot on. You said to slow down and listen. This is what I say: slow down and listen to the universe. The universe is always talking to you, because the universe actually lives right in here.
It does.
That is your zone of genius, and it lives right here within your very own heart. But the problem is this: we're so busy living to our own agenda, trying to find our way. We don't slow down long enough to listen to what the universe is trying to show us, because what we're here to do probably doesn't look like what you think it's supposed to look like.
Exactly.
It's going to look completely different. So what Dr. Glow is saying is just slow down. I like meditation. I use meditation as the way, and when I teach, meditation is a way to connect into the heart. It's a way to connect to that zone of genius, because it's in that zone of genius you will know exactly who you are, and you'll know exactly what your purpose is. But if you don't slow down long enough to listen and let the fear down, what happens is we get so busy in our lives and we're struggling, and the fear gets up and we say, my life's going to always be this big struggle. No, it doesn't have to be. That's just right now. So if you could just slow down and breathe, quiet your mind, open your heart, and get still and listen, like Dr. Glow just said, listen to your heart. And if you just get still enough and listen, the universe is every day showing you opportunities. It is every day showing you how to. That's why the universe brought you here. Basically. And it's trying like crazy to love you and tell you, I love you. This is why you're here. Let's get started. But we're so busy. we don't. We also don't. We also have a really. We also have another thing going. We have a maniac in our head. You know that maniac in your head. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I call the ego shadow. Is always telling. You know that part. It's really
Mm-hmm.
repressed. It's really repressed negative energy, and it's that part of us is always attacking us, telling us we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not judging enough. Blah, blah, blah. It is never happy with whatever we do. So that's what we mean. We got to quiet that voice because it's not telling you your purpose. It's telling you what you don't want to do.
Constantly.
It's constantly telling you
Yeah,
you got to do this, and that's not your purpose. Your purpose is to quiet that guy and tell it to shut up. Really, I tell mine, I say, shut up sometimes, leave me alone. I got something better to do. Joy's talking to me right now, and she's got a much better idea of what I'm supposed to be doing than what you got.
Definitely.
And just slow down long enough and get quiet and get still and listen to that divine intuition. You will find your purpose and you'll quit struggling because you have everything within you to create a wonderful, magical life. If you'll just slow down long enough to listen to the universe.
Yeah, because life is a choice, and you can wake up every day and choose to live or choose not to. And choosing not to doesn't mean necessarily trying to like off yourself. That's what I mean by choose not to. I mean like choose to sit there and live in the monotony of your life. Choose not to make different choices, right? So when you can make that choice to wake up like I'm going to be great today. I'm going to be amazing today. It changes your whole outlook on everything.
Yes.
I am important. I have a purpose. And then you'll start moving and walking in it because the world's going to keep on communicating to you. And then you're going to start seeing those people who are going to say, you know what, you really helped me with this. You really helped me with that. Because human interaction and community is the base of all of it. We're all here for a purpose to serve each other. Mm-hmm. And when we're connecting with each other and serving each other in any way, like you having me here, spending time with you today, serving me, I'm serving you. We're here together. People are in the audience. We're serving them right now. This is connection, and this is powerful. And the more that we connect and conversate and engage with people around the world all the time, the better everybody's going to be. And then you're going to wake up and like, who can I meet today? Who can I connect with today? What's going to be new for me? What am I going to gain just from waking up and breathing today and moving within that? And that's the most simplest purpose that we all have, connecting with other humans, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. When I had my sort of what I would call my moment of enlightenment years ago, I was actually in the middle of a pity party because I was on the edge of bankruptcy and I was just feeling sorry for myself. And I had reached out to my spiritual teacher and said, I am so miserable. And people are telling me I should declare, but I'd gone from being a top producer to being on the edge of bankruptcy. And I was just miserable. And she said, well, I don't think you should declare bankruptcy. I think what you should do is surrender it to God and let it go. Mm-hmm. Let go of your need to be successful. Let go of your need to do what your mind is telling you need to do to be happy. Let all these things you think you need to do go so you can get exactly what you want. And when I did that, she said, I think you should get on your knees and surrender this to God the way you surrendered alcohol to God years ago. And I did that. And you know what? This is the craziest thing happened. When I got on my hands and knees and just really said a surrendering prayer to God, I was filled with this. My whole being was filled with a sense of grace and love that I knew I was loved. And I had a clear sense of who I was and a clear sense of purpose. That's why I say sometimes when you're struggling, slow down and let it go and just listen to that divine intuition within you for the guidance you need. It's not out there. None of the answers to any of our problems are out there. They're all right here inside of our very own heart.
Definitely. I just think that, sometimes we get so clouded by the things around us, even the individuals we keep around us sometimes, and if you're around individuals who you're not inspired by, that can also put a major damper on where you're trying to find your own purpose, because obviously there's people around here who's going to hold you back. There can be individuals going to hold you back. So sometimes if you want to see where I want to go and who I want to be, start trying to be around other people. Again, connect with other types of individuals. And that might just be where you're supposed to be versus where you are. When you're feeling stuck and stagnant in situations, people, places, and things matter. Jobs matter. People are holding on to these jobs. Oh, I got to pay my bills. Okay, I get it. But trust that the universe will always provide. It will always provide for you. Always. So you stepping out on faith and taking a new opportunity or taking an opportunity to take some time might be the best step for you to find that clarity that you need. I did that many, many moons ago. You know, I was sitting there working 2 full-time jobs just to be able to provide for my son at the time, overworked or exhausted, and I just couldn't figure it out. And then my wife said to me one day, she was like, why don't you just stop? And this was, we weren't even married yet. She was like, just stop. I'm gonna give you the space to stop. And I stopped. And it was one of the biggest things that I did, because I started my consulting company, and then I found space to think and evolve and grow.
Exactly.
And then my income just doubled easily,
You know,
more than what I was making from before.
And people are so afraid, and that's just it. You're stuck in this idea that you're living for somebody else. Usually,
Exactly.
you're not living for yourself. That's what we're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your own unique purpose. You're here like a snowflake. You are a very unique, precious human being. You are both human and your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You are pure love consciousness, creative consciousness. And I've got a workshop coming up that it talks a lot about how not just to think about that, but how to experience all that. But that's the truth of who you are. We are actually human, and we're also fully spirit. We're fully energy. You know, spirit is the word, kind of have a lot of religious connotations to it, spiritual. But the reality is that they didn't know what energy was years ago. Now we with energy, we know that everything in the world can be explained by energy, frequency, and vibration. So we are energy. But the thing is, we're created out of the highest, most creative form of energy, light energy, that's holding the whole planet together. That's what we're created with. And when you slow down long enough and you connect to that, when you connect to that zone of genius within yourself, you will know exactly who you are, and the universe will tell you your purpose.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
It's
Yeah,
time right now. If you're struggling, I can promise you that the universe is right now, every day, every second, doing everything it can to give you a hint, a clue of why you're here and what you're here to do.
Yeah, I think, you know, and sometimes people just miss the message. They miss the message. And I'm one I've learned. I didn't realize when I was younger that it was constantly happening to me, where the universe is dropping gems around, or dropping thoughts, or dropping dreams, right? Because dreams is a big thing. All those is just those premonitions and visions of what life can be. And sometimes some things that happen is look into that energy that your subconscious is providing you, because it's providing you energy that for a reason. Take a close look at it and feel out how you're feeling about certain things. Are you just connected to certain things? Are you need to detach from other things? There's always these messages that exist. And I'm telling you, it's such a powerful thing to really connect with others, and to really connect even with yourself, you know, and finding time just for self, taking away all the distractions.
Thank you. I would even say, and that's what we're saying, slow down to connect with yourself.
Yeah.
Love, like the greatest say, all the greatest sages say, love your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul. We're not talking about something out there. We're talking about that divine presence within ourselves. And if we start with that and we love that, it will begin to love us back. And then we have the power to love others, and love others as if because we are one. That's the reality. We are one heartbeat. The entire universe is the heart. I want to throw something I've been playing with. This will be kind of fun for a second. I want to hear your thoughts about this. I've been listening to this guy who's been teaching me that if we are universal consciousness, if that's what we are, that means it includes all of the universe, all of the galaxies, infinitely, every star and brilliant. What about the idea, are we in conversation with other life forms from other galaxies?
Of course.
Of course we are.
Of course we are. Everything is just one big ball. We're all just here, existing in this space, right? And because I'm all for it. I'm definitely all for it. I'm all for that. You know, even that there's different worlds within our own worlds. You know, that we just have to connect and sit down to these things. Of course, yeah. I think we're in a conversation with other beings.
Well, I've had them too.
They're probably looking and watching the show right now. We don't know.
They're hanging around with us right this moment, and I believe this is. I can't. These are just things that
Wait, give it to me. What do you believe, Mark?
Well, first of all, I believe that the Earth, planet Earth, is one of the newer planets in the universal system.
Okay.
And that there are other life forms that are billions of years more evolved, and they know exactly how to use their minds, the power of the mind to create. I think that that's where we were able to build the pyramids and other phenomena on the planet that
Okay.
are so that can't be explained. So I know that we are in communication with them, and they're in communication. And I think they're here to, we call them angels. They're here to guide and protect us and help us evolve into a higher, more peaceful life form on planet Earth. And that's where the world, I think the world's moving that right now. I think we are part of we're seeing a transformation and a shift in cosmic consciousness around the planet Earth and humankind that we've never experienced this quickly in our lifetime.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'd love to hear some thoughts from you on some of this. What people might think is kind of a woo-woo way of looking at the world.
Well, the world is woo-woo.
Yeah, thank God.
The world is. Nothing is that simple. Some things that just happen, there are spirits. There's energy, right? There's so many things that's around us all the time that are moving and shifting, even with our own minds. You can sit there, like once in a while you go to a house, right? Oh, there's spirits, there's something in this house. Of course there probably is. Of course there's energy. Energy exists. Energy is real, and then, Earth being the youngest planet, I don't know. It's possible. But yeah, how did the pyramids get here? Nobody really knows. And there's so many other things. How did that happen? Nobody really knows. We kind of think we know. Nobody really knows. So of course, I'm a firm believer that there also can be things that can happen from other people, however they want to describe themselves. I don't doubt anything. Right? How can you? How can we doubt our own existence? So how can you doubt someone else's or the possibility of there being someone else?
It doesn't even make sense, really.
It doesn't. The whole, no, that can't be real. Why not?
Universe and these human beings who really spent most of the time on planet Earth complaining about it and fighting for different territories and killing each other. We can't be happy. I think that's a big part of what Mother Earth did to us during the pandemic. So, okay, you guys have been, all y'all give you this beautiful place to live, absolutely perfect. You're all created in my image. You have all the powers that I have. And all y'all have done is complain and fight over the most silly things. You're all going to your room for a while until you can come out and be grateful for what you have.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it definitely was a cleansing.
It was a cleansing. And millions of us have woken up to this new reality that there is something more than this human existence. We're so much more than that. I like to say there's a field beyond the mind of infinite potential, a field beyond the mind. I call that the zone of genius is beyond the mind, is because it's the mind, the human mind is a binary system. The zone of genius has to be non-binary. It has to be a win for everything it's happening.
Yeah, I can definitely co-sign that thought. Because because even I'm telling you, it's just like so much has happened, and individuals went two different ways, during this pandemic. Sorry for those we've lost, definitely, but for those who succeeded and made it through this pandemic, is either you grew and you were enlightened, or you grew, you're enlightened, because there's only one way to go. You could not stay backwards, and even though some people's strength has grown more than others throughout this process of this last couple of years, those other ones are still watching it happen, which means that those who are light years ahead are now shining bright for those who still need to come up. Because the world changed. We are all looking at the world differently. People are so much more empowered now than they've ever been.
That's what I'm talking about. There's a movement of empowerment of people having real clarity about who we are, that we're so much more than just this one human being with a collection of thoughts and experiences. And back to your point here is we're also have a lot more people awoken to the clarity of what they're here for. And I always go back to when I'm getting a little bit not so sure of what I'm here. Well, why am I here? What do I do as a coach? And what I do as a coach is I transform and save lives. And when I can come back to that, that's my purpose. My purpose on this planet is to transform and save lives. And I do that by bringing people into their zone of genius. But that's because they can transform and save their lives and save other lives. That's what I do. That is my purpose, is to bring people into that zone of genius so we can transform and save lives. And when I come back to that, any of my depression or any of my worries. It just goes away because I think this is why I'm here. And when I can look out, like you were saying, Gordon, I can look out in the world and I can see the people's lives who who have transformed and have saved, and who are working in that, who are happy, know their purpose, and living a joyful, happy life from a place of sense of purpose and meaning. That's what gives me so much joy.
Yeah, no, and I get you on that one with that joy of just watching people progressing, moving forward. Even the young folks that I work with on a consistent basis, watching them now, they go off to elementary school, or my clients who've gotten their high school diplomas and then now they're into college and finding jobs and doing all these things that they never thought they were going to really be able to do, right? And coming into that space, and I know that the power that I have to instill power in others is so powerful to get that done. So coaching is one of the best things you can do for anybody, is helping somebody lead themselves to their best life, because we don't lead them there. They lead themselves there. We're just there for support.
Absolutely. And everybody can be a coach.
Yeah.
Everybody can be a coach for somebody else. You don't have to do it for a living. You can, all you have to do is just sit down and listen deeply from a place of your heart and care and empathy. And you'll help someone. You in that space, heart space, in that zone of genius, you'll be able to listen deeply, and you'll be able to transform and save someone else's life. You don't have to be a coach like us as a profession. You can just do it because it's somebody you care about.
Exactly.
It's all it is. It's just sitting down and being still and listening to someone and finding out where they're stuck and where they're struggling, and be able to help them get unstuck. That's really all it is.
Yes, agreed.
That's all there is. So I cannot believe it, but I'm looking at the ticker, and we've already gone through our 30 minutes, Dr. Glow.
I know.
I can't believe it's gone so quickly. Before we sign out of here, I'd love for you to tell people a little bit about how they can get in touch with you. What's the best way, and how? Because I'm sure that after hearing this today, and they're going to want to get in touch with you to find out how they can find a true sense of purpose and meaning in their lives. How's the best way for someone to find you?
The most easiest way, honestly, to find me is to Google Dr. Gloria Pope. Everything I do comes up.
Okay.
Definitely my name is, of course, at Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. All my logos, with regards to my business-wise, Black Girl Everything LLC is the easiest way of Instagram, Twitter, everything else. But if you just Google me, Dr. Gloria Pope, everything pops right up.
Thank you so much. And just one second, I want to just give a little shout out for something I'm doing with my business partner in Africa, Abba. We have just launched a brand new global. It's called the Global LGBTQ Heart Space Community Coaching Program. And it is a program, a community, a global community, virtual community, to do everything we're talking about here in this show today. So if you really want to live a life of purpose and meaning, come over and check us out on that platform. And you can find the link in the show notes surrounding this. And you can it's also got a link finding if you want to get in contact with me. I'll be happy to tell you more about it. I'd love to talk to you. All you got to do is find me on Facebook or LinkedIn and send me a direct message, and I'll be happy to jump on a call with you and get to know you and tell you what we're doing over here at Financial Heart Space. But the most exciting thing we got doing is this new community coaching program, where we're going to teach you everything we're talking. We're going to connect you with people around the world who are going to love and support you to finding your purpose and your mission. That's what we do. That's what we do. And we'd love to have you join us over there. So if that's something you're interested, please check us out. It's called the Global LGBTQ Heart Space Community. And we'd love to have you part of that group and part of that community. So Dr. Glow, thank you again so much for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure getting back together again. We met at a wonderful event with the NGLCC New York about a month, actually during the summer. I think it was August.
Yeah, it was during the summer. It was nice outside.
It was a really fun event, and we had a great time. And I said, we had a conversation like this, and we said, you got to come. I said, you got to come on my show. We got to have a conversation out in the public about this. So I want to thank you again for being here today, and it's just been a real treat. And may love and prosperity continue to prevail.
Thank you.